The bomb is about to explode at the Commander's training camp, and I swear what's happening right now could completely change the 2025 season. While our star receiver remains unsigned, causing a soap opera that has the entire organization on edge. We have a 7th-round rookie driving the coaches crazy and a veteran proving that time can't stop them. But that's not all, because there's also a player raising red flags just when we need them to shine. Stay until the end, because this information will blow your mind, and I'll ask a question that will generate debate for days. Give it a like if you already know which star I'm talking about. Let me tell you this, the drama Terry McLaurin is going through right now is exactly what we don't need when we're building something special. Do you understand the magnitude of what's happening? McLaurin is on the PUP list, supposedly with an ankle injury, but we all know this is pure contract drama. I think this explosive situation could destroy all the chemistry we built last year. Gary Davenport from Bleacher Report said it clearly. The longer this situation drags on, the worse it will be for our Super Bowl aspirations. Do you know why this worries me so much? Because after years of watching this team struggle with receivers who couldn't carry the attack, McLaurin became our salvation. This man was our WR1 when we had disastrous quarterbacks. Imagine what he can do with Jaden Daniels throwing. But here's what really bothers me. McLaurin is turning 30 soon and asking for elite WR money. Do you think it's worth paying those millions? Let me tell you this. After seeing Jerry Jones refuse to pay CD Lamb and how the Eagles had to let go of receivers due to the salary cap, Adam Peters is at a historical crossroads. The brutal reality. If we don't sign McLaurin, we lose the only proven receiver we have. If we sign him for what he asks, we compromise the future of the salary cap. And do you know what's crazy? While McLaurin makes his drama, we have rookies working twice as hard to earn those snaps he's wasting. The timing of this situation is criminally bad. It's August. The regular season starts in less than a month, and our WR1 isn't practicing. Do you know how much chemistry is lost when a quarterback and his favorite receiver don't practice together? Daniels needs to know exactly where McLaurin will be on every route, in every situation, and that only develops with constant repetitions. And here's what's really worrying me. Davenport mentioned that the ankle injury might be related to the contract drama. What does that mean? McLaurin might be using the injury as leverage to demand more money. If that's the case, we're seeing a player putting personal interests above the team at the most critical moment. But I also understand McLaurin's perspective. This man has been loyal to this organization for years, produced with terrible quarterbacks, never caused problems. And now that we finally have a franchise quarterback, he wants to secure his financial future. It's understandable, but the timing is terrible. Now the pressure is completely on Adam Peters. If he pays what McLaurin demands, he sets a dangerous precedent for future negotiations. If not, we could lose the best receiver we've had in decades. It's an impossible decision. If that surprises you, wait to hear this. Because what's happening with our 7th-round rookie is absolutely incredible and has me more excited than any free agent signing. Jakery Crosky-Merritt, known as Bill, is making us all forget he was a 7th-round pick. Have you seen how this guy is running? The cuts he makes are insane. The speed he shows is something we haven't had in our backfield for years. And I believe this guy is going to be the draft steal by Adam Peters. Josh Taylor reported that Crosky-Merritt is already taking repetitions with the first offensive unit. Are you crazy? A 7th-round rookie competing with veterans who cost millions. But when you see him train, you understand why Dan Quinn is bumping him up the depth chart so quickly. This guy has that hunger we need, the energy of someone who knows every practice could be their last opportunity. And do you know what excites me more? The drills they're doing in practice are totally insane. Taylor mentioned he saw drills he's never seen before, with stacked pads simulating an offensive line on the goal line. This is burgundy and gold innovation, baby. Quinn is preparing these guys for situations other teams don't even consider. But here's the really crazy thing about our running game. While the Cowboys keep depending on Ezekiel Elliott, who no longer has the legs, and the Eagles bet everything on Saquon Barkley, who comes off injuries, we are developing a diamond in the rough that could explode this season. Krosky Merritt's story is perfect for cinema. A seventh-round guy nobody knew, with a nickname that sounds like an 80s veteran player, impressing so much in practice that the coaches can't ignore him. And the best part is that it's happening just when we need it the most. Can you imagine? If this guy becomes our feature back, next year's mock draft will be full of running backs from small schools, because everyone will want to find the next Krosky Merritt. And we'll be the geniuses who discovered him first. But what impresses me the most is the mentality he's showing. Taylor described how Krosky Merritt is stacking good days since training camp started. That means consistency. That means professionalism. That means he's not just a flash in the pan. This guy understands he has a historic opportunity and is taking full advantage of it. And here's what has me most excited. Joint practices and preseason games will be his real test. Anyone can look good in practice against their own team. But when you face defenses you don't know, that's where you separate the real from the pretenders. If Krosky Merritt can maintain this level against other teams, we're going to have something special in our hands. The reality is we needed exactly this. A running back who can make those sharp cuts, who has the speed to reach the outside, and who brings that fresh energy sometimes lacking in veterans who are already comfortable with their contracts. Krosky Merritt is fighting for every snap, and that mentality is contagious. And if you thought we were done with surprises, Javon Kinlaw is proving why Adam Peters invested in him when everyone criticized the signing. Taylor described something that gave me goosebumps. Kinlaw is bringing juice to practice, constantly, getting into the backfield and making the offensive line know these are the real practices. Do you understand what that means? We have a defensive tackle hungry to prove his days in New York were just a bad chapter in a career that could be elite. Kinlaw's story is fascinating. The Jets had him at a weight he wasn't comfortable with, used him incorrectly, and basically wasted his talent. But Taylor mentioned something crucial. Kinlaw has already put himself at the weight he wants, is playing freely, and is bringing the energy we had lost in our defensive line. And do you know what excites me the most? Taylor said that Kinlaw can't wait to put pads on and make some noise in the trenches. That mentality is exactly what we need. After years of watching defensive tackles playing as if they didn't want to be there, we have someone desperate to prove their value. Taylor's prediction about Kinlaw becoming a fan favorite has me super excited. Do you know why? Because Washington fans connect with players who have something to prove, who come from tough situations and find their true potential here. Kinlaw has all the traits to be that kind of player, and the part about his size is important. Taylor mentioned Kinlaw surprised him by how big he looked in practice. When you have a defensive tackle with Kinlaw's size, who also has the athleticism to get to the backfield, that's a lethal combination. Rival quarterbacks will have nightmares with this man. But when you thought we were done, we have to talk about something exciting about our veterans proving experience remains invaluable. Zach Ertz is making us all forget he's turning 35 this season. Taylor reported that Ertz had multiple touchdowns from Jaden Daniels in practice, especially in red zone drills. Remember when we thought Ertz was just a veteran coming to retire in Washington? Total mistake. This man became Daniels' second favorite option last year, and now he's proven he can repeat that chemistry. And do you know why this is great? Because while the Cowboys lost Dalton Schultz and don't have a reliable tight end, we have a future Hall of Famer who can still produce in critical situations. The connection between Ertz and Daniels is something beautiful to see. Taylor mentioned Ertz is maximizing his production in the red zone, and that's exactly what we need. In the red zone, experience is worth more than speed. Perfect routes are worth more than pure athleticism, and Ertz has decades of knowledge. on how to find open spaces when the field shrinks. And do you know what's craziest? Ertz isn't just producing, he's mentoring. Having a tight end with his experience, teaching our young receivers how to read defenses, how to find soft spots in coverage, how to use the body to protect the ball, that's invaluable. No one expected Ertz to have the kind of season he had in 2024, but there he was, being the security blanket Daniels needed when things got tough. And according to Taylor, he's ready to repeat that performance. That gives me incredible confidence in our passing attack. But when you thought we were finished, we have to talk about something worrying me, and that could be a real problem if we don't fix it quickly. Luke, McCaffrey is giving alarm signals just when we need him to make the second-year leap. Lino, Willingham from 106.7. The Fan reported something that made my skin crawl. McCaffrey is having constant concentration issues, dropping passes he should easily catch. Do you know why this worries me so much? Because when your last name is McCaffrey, expectations are through the roof. Let me tell you this, McCaffrey has all the physical tools to be special. He has the genetics, the coaching from Christian, and Ed McCaffrey. He has Jaden Daniels throwing perfect balls. But do you know what bothers me? That after a full year in the system, he's still making mental errors you can't afford in the NFL. Willingham described it as a worrying trend. And when a reporter who sees all the practices says that, I pay attention. Do you understand what this means? With McLaurin out due to his contract drama, McCaffrey should be taking every repetition to prove he can be the WR2 we need. Instead, he's leaving doubts about his reliability. Dean Jones from Rigo's Rag was more specific about the problem. He reported that McCaffrey had dropped another makeable catch during the team portion of practice, suggesting this is happening regularly. That's no coincidence. That's a pattern. And patterns in the NFL quickly become trends opponents. Exploit. Now, let me ask you this. Is it normal for a second-year player to have inconsistencies? Of course. But is it acceptable when we're competing for a Super Bowl? That's a completely different conversation. The Giants will attack our weak points in Week 1. And if McCaffrey can't catch passes in critical situations, we're going to have serious problems. But here's what gives me hope. McCaffrey is a McCaffrey. That family doesn't know the word give up. If anyone can correct these concentration problems, it's him. He has the upcoming weeks of training camp and preseason games to prove it. Jones also mentioned something important. McCaffrey only had 2 years playing receiver in college after transitioning from quarterback. That means he's technically still learning the position. The drops could simply be part of the development process, not a fundamental flaw in his ability, but the pressure is there. With McLaurin absent, with Ertz being more of a safety net than a deep threat, McCaffrey needs to be that receiver who can make the explosive plays that open the whole field for Daniels. If he can't catch the ball consistently, that responsibility falls on rookies and less experienced players. The reality is McCaffrey is at a crucial moment in his career. He can use this adversity to develop the mental resiliency that separates good receivers from elite ones, or he can allow these concentration issues to become a weakness opponents exploit. The next month will determine which path he takes. And if you thought that was all, Taylor also shared several observations worthy of attention. Deebo Samuel hasn't had a single bad practice since training camp started. That's consistency at the highest level. Samuel has been the top performer, according to Taylor, and that says a lot about his professionalism and ability. Jaden Daniels bounced back after the defense dominated last week. His throws look sharp again. This is exactly what we want to see. A quarterback who learns from bad practices and comes back stronger. Daniels' competitive mentality is what sets him apart from other young quarterbacks. Laramie Tunsil and Josh Conley Jr. are glued to the hip. That chemistry between tackles is crucial for protecting Daniels. When your tackles can communicate perfectly and cover the most dangerous edge rushers, the entire offensive line works better. Jalen Lane is going to be a threat in Week 1. His speed pops in every practice and keeps improving. Lane could be the deep threat we need if McCaffrey doesn't solve his issues. The secondary depth is really good. Jonathan Jones, Noah Ibbenogany, and Tyler Owens have had notable days and been consistent. That's music to my ears after years of watching secondaries that couldn't cover anyone. Commanders fans, here's my final analysis. We have a perfect risk and reward situation. If McLaurin signs and McCaffrey solves his concentration issues, we can have the best receiving corps we've had in decades. If McLaurin leaves and McCaffrey keeps dropping passes, we'll have serious problems against teams like Philadelphia and Dallas that have aggressive secondaries. But what excites me the most is seeing how this organization is finally making the right decisions. Peters isn't paying for nostalgia. Quinn is developing young talent, and Daniels is elevating everyone's level around him. Now, let me ask you, should we pay what McLaurin is asking, or is it time to completely bet on the young receivers? Can McCaffrey and the rookies carry the attack if McLaurin leaves? And are you ready to see Krosky Merritt become the biggest surprise of the season? Let me know your opinions in the comments, because this conversation is just beginning. If you think McLaurin should sign now, give it a like. If you think it's time to bet on youth, subscribe for more analysis like this. And if you're as excited as I am about this season, share this video with other fans, because we need the entire Commanders Nation to be informed. This season is going to be historic, and you can't miss a single detail of what's happening in Ashburn. Let's be honest, after decades of mediocrity, we finally have an organization that knows what it's doing. And that, my friends, is something worth celebrating. And remember, hail to the Redskins.